there, I'm Angela. Welcome to the channel or welcome back. And today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the unofficial kickoff of my hashtag stash sewdown for 2023. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned. Just a little preface. So this is probably going to be a pretty short video. Basically, what I want to share with you guys is my whole premise behind stash sewdown. It's hard to say. I keep wanting to call it stash showdown. Anyway, I'm going to kind of share with you guys what led me to make this one of my 2023 goals. If you saw my sewing goals for 2023 video, then this won't be news for you. I'll put a link to that video up here in case you missed it and if you're interested. But anyway, one of my goals is to sew half of my stash before I allow myself to purchase new fabric. And given how much fabric I have on hand, that's going to be like a tough goal. I'm committed to seeing it through. Not that I won't have an indiscretion somewhere along the way, but by and large, I'm committed to doing this. And what I'm going to do in this video is just kind of give you guys my starting numbers as far as yardage and number of pieces, and the guidelines that I've put in place for this. So first, let's talk about like the rules that I have for myself on this. So this project, if you will, or goal, only includes garment fabric. It doesn't include any quilting fabric. Like I could do a whole stash sew down with just quilting fabric. So that's kind of its whole other thing. So it doesn't include quilting or craft fabric and any home dec fabric. I do have a few pieces of home decorating fabric that I've kind of held aside to replace like chair covers or cushions or things like that. So that fabric's not included in this. Also not included is any lining fabric, because I feel like it's always a good idea. Like I'm not in a hurry to get rid of my lining fabric, and I don't have so much of it that it's taking up a lot of space in my sewing area. And it's always good to have a couple of pieces of lining fabric on hand. You never know when you're going to need one. So lining fabric's not included. Also not included are the 10 or 12 pieces of fabric that I've already pulled out of my stash, designated for either donation or reselling on Destashify or Facebook Marketplace. So those are already boxed up and they're not included in this. And the only other thing before I give you my starting numbers is I'm I'm torn between trying to figure out if I should use yardage as the measurement or just simply number of pieces. And it might amount to roughly the same thing. It probably is close enough that it doesn't matter. So with that, drum roll please. The amount of yardage that I am starting out with is 142. It's a lot. It's embarrassingly a lot. And that constitutes 68 pieces. It's a lot. So I'm kind of leaning towards going by number of pieces. So that means that I would have to sew up 64 pieces of fabric before I can buy new fabric. And when I calculated this and saw like the sheer numbers, it just reinforced my resolve to do this year. It's way too much fabric for me, not being a professional seamstress, to have on hand. So I'm excited to do this, and I'm feeling good that I can stick with it. And just to help me stay accountable, what I think I'm going to do is to provide you guys updates as I go. Like every time I complete a garment, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, that's one piece down, only 33 more to go. And actually, I already have done one. So this was starting yardage at the beginning of the year, so just a couple weeks ago. And of course, I haven't bought any fabric since then. So that was what I started with on January 1st. And I've already finished a pair of pants. And so I can check one off. I feel like, yes, I already have a quick win. So now I'm looking at, 34 things to make. Now I'm looking at 33. I'll take it. Every little bit counts. I also want to throw in real quick, if you're wondering like how do I just happen to know how much fabric I have down to the yardage, I keep track of every time I purchase fabric. I put it into an app that I have. So that way I know what I have to work with. And when I make something up with that piece, I just mark it as made. So it kind of comes off my list of available fabric. It helps me plan like what to make. If I'm looking through my patterns and I want to make something, I can just like scroll through that app to see which fabrics I have and that I still have yardage of that I could use for that pattern. So I find that to be very helpful and just for my regular sewing practice. And it was also very helpful for adding up these numbers relatively quickly. And I'm curious to know like how like my stash kind of fares compared to other people's stash. Is that something that you guys are ever curious about? I kind of want to know like how much fabric do you guys have if you know that off the top of your head. Part of me wants to know that, and part of me is like, I don't want to know that because I know I'll probably be have like so much embarrassment for hoarding so much fabric. But it's changing, it's going to change. And if you care to share how much fabric you have on hand, I'd love to know. Please feel free to put it in the comments below. And that's all I have to share today. It's just kind of a little kickoff with some facts, guidelines, details of what I'm starting with. And I will talk to you guys this weekend for Friday Sews. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.